What's going on? Welcome back to Random Binder. This is Chris coming at you with another video, and today we are talking about sports games, which I know plenty of gamers don't like to talk about, but it's truly like one of my favorite, I guess, genres of game from my youth. And not that I'm getting the new 2K or definitely not the new FIFA or Madden every year, but it's always been a fun, like, kind of time sink and just like a good way to like blow off steam or whatever, assuming I'm not playing against anybody too good. I used to love playing in college, like after class just play a couple of games of 2K, and me and my roommates at the time put in, that was the most hours I had in any game, was 2K13 and then 2K16, like by far, by like a crazy amount. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of us just playing, like, quick match, like you hit random 3 times, you pick one of those 3 teams, and if you don't want either of the 3, time you call it, well, I don't know if you can say the S word here, but you do it one more time and you're stuck with that randomization. So it means for some fun matchups. You can just use like the Lakers, the Warriors every time. Actually, if you use the Warriors at the time, especially with like Kevin Durant, I think that was during the era where like you get bullied relentlessly. So it was very fun when I was the best player by default, because I had the system, and the other guys like hadn't really been playing it as much. So when I was the best, I wasn't even trash talking. I was just having a fun time, and it was great to just like unwind, or play against the computer, and we try to make a game out of it, like hit a certain amount of threes or whatever. But yeah, once my roommates got better than me, I hated it. I hated it so much. And playing online, I never, ever enjoyed that at all. Because I would get my ass kicked, or I would be like doing okay, and then there would be like a lag or a disconnect or whatever, or there was enough, variation where I couldn't hit a 3 because the signal was bad from like the other person. So, yeah, during that era is when I really stopped getting in the year to year, and it started getting too complicated, man. Honestly, there was like a Madden and a FIFA where you had to play like a couple levels of like an RPG to like start the game, or you had to like, they put you at halftime at this like big pivotal game. You have to like, that's how you learned the tutorial, which is cool, but like leave me alone, just let me play like the game. So that around that time of like the Xbox One, PS4 generations where it started getting soured for me, and I just kind of didn't really keep up with it. And also it's expensive to get like a new game every year just for roster updates, so I got kind of disenfranchised. But yeah, that was a big part of it. I was getting my ass kicked. I never claimed to be the best player by far. I was awful at these games as a kid, but finally I was starting to be pretty decent. And then you're expanded to like the whole world of like people that are so much better than you, and that's not even to bring up like the NBA 2K like virtual currency situation where you have to pay a bunch of money to even be able to play like 3-on-3 with these guys. So a bunch of preamble out of the way. Is it psychotic to play sports games on easy? Is the tentative name of this video, and like truly, like it, not like, oh, like an easier difficulty or like every once in a while. It's like, no, the only time I play some of these games, which at the moment is even crazier, is NBA Live 07 and Madden 07. Truly on rookie difficulty, and then just trying to score as many touchdowns, like trying to get over 100 points in Madden, and trying to like double up the score in NBA Live or 2K when I play it. When I played NBA 2K18 on the Switch, an absolute insane amount, and I did all I did was on both sports, you do a fantasy draft, and then you do franchise mode, and then you just keep playing 2-3 minute quarters. So none of it's realistic, none of it's like normal at all. And then you just try to like, you make little storylines in your head. It's like, oh, Troy Brown on the 2007 Patriots is going for like the receiving record, but then you don't want Benjamin Watson. Benjamin Watson is like always like, he was a tight end, this is a deep cut. But you get in your head like, oh, there's this role player that you would love, they've been putting in the work, they've been throwing blocks, not catching many touchdowns, and you want them to lead the league in touchdowns before they retire, like dumb stuff like that. I did a fantasy draft where I was like the Sacramento Kings because I loved their uniform, and I played with the Celtics all the time, and they were pretty good at that point. They had Kyrie, but weirdly enough, I didn't feel like playing as Kyrie, and also I couldn't get Marcus Smart's shot down at the time, which was really frustrating. So I did this fantasy draft. I had LeBron, I had like Rudy Gay, I had DeMar DeRozan, like a bunch of these players, and we were doing so, and I had a creative player, and we were doing so well that I made this trade, this like wrestling. I'm a big wrestling fan. If you haven't seen this channel before, and I traded LeBron to the Spurs, which is like the best team, or no, was he on the Spurs? I beat the Spurs in the championship, and then I traded him to the Spurs and be like, all right, maybe you'll have better luck next year. And then like me and him were competing for MVP. For MVP candidate the following season, like he was easily the second best player in the NBA, right behind me, but he had like more rebounds and I had more assists and points, and his free throw percentage was great, and my free throw percentage, even with like the easiest difficulty, I would screw up every once in a while. So but yeah, it's less about like exercising my skill, which is okay, but I'm lacking patience for sure. I'm lacking, when push comes to shove, I throw all tactics out the window, and I just try to chuck up a three to get the boys going, to get do a heat check when I'm not supposed to. If a guy's going too well, I'll give it to him too many times and he'll start shooting cold. Or if the second somebody gets cold, I try to get them to shoot their way out of it. Like, I understand how these athletes like run into these issues in real life, because I'm over here playing against a computer for a game that came out, let's see, 07, probably came out in 2006, or at least was developed almost 9 years ago. Is that no 19 years ago? Oh my god, that's crazy. Yeah, 19 years ago. That doesn't seem right. Was 2007, it was 2006, 19 years ago? That's horrifying. Oh my god, that's crazy. But I guess that makes sense. Oh my god, that means like John Cena was like in the WWE for almost 2 decades. That's insane. Okay. Well, anyways, existential crisis aside, this is what I'm talking about. I just liked, the simplicity of the games back then. You could just pick up, do quick play, do, the franchise. You didn't have to spend virtual currency or like do anything crazy or like actually interview the coaches in this weird cutscene. It was just like it's all text-based menus. You're just like, simming stuff along. You can play as many games as you want to or not. You can make trades, and you can override the trades a lot easier than you can nowadays. Like, now you can still do it, but so many menus that honestly I get lost, and I'm only 30, but I'm like playing my GM mode with my roommates for what, 2K, was it 2K? No, 2K8. 2K18, was that the Paul George one? 2K22 was, yeah, that was it was too much for me. I was like, I truly don't know what I'm supposed to do here. I would just like, I would just kind of freeze, and it took all like the creativity out of it. And I feel the same way about wrestling games, but that's a thing for another day, where it's easier for me to play the N64 wrestling games because there's not like, it's very stripped down and bare bones and simple, and that's like how I want to like really decompress from a long day. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, I had my old roommate Brian. He would talk about like the power fantasy aspect of sports or of games. And he'd be like, if I want like some, and this is where I disagree with him, like some of my favorite games of all time are story games, like The Last of Us or the story of Spider-Man, not just Insomniac's Spider-Man PS4, and not just like the combat of it. Same with Arkham City. Arkham City is my favorite, not necessarily because it has the tightest fighting, even though I think it has incredible combat, but because of the story and things like that. So, but he was always like, if I want a story, I'll watch a show or a movie. He's like, I just want to, he's like, I want to do GM mode and make sure that the Jets have like the most losingest franchise, simulate this old copy of Madden for 20 years and make sure like the Jets like never win a championship and do whatever it takes, like make whatever trades I need to make other teams in the division better and make sure the Jets are terrible. Or he took control of the Jets and kept trading away all his draft picks, and then it like broke the system because they were so bad. Little dumb stuff like that. I think there needs to be more room in video games for the actual play and like the playing with toys in a sandbox, playing with action figures type aspect to it, than just like how sweaty and competitive are you, like what rank are you in, are you hitting the battle pass requirements for some of these shooters. It's like just to be able to be creative and like I'm only gonna shoot threes for this game and like have fun doing it instead of like trying to get an achievement, sweating it, throwing your controller. Like I think for me personally, putting these sports games on easy for like a franchise mode, not necessarily like, oh, I I rip open the new. If I end up getting the NCAA football game, I'm not gonna immediately put it on easy and like, you know, go about it that way. I'll probably play a little bit normally to get a feel for like the new systems and new controls and stuff like that, and it'll be a bit more rewarding, you know. And there's the souls aspect of it, where like if you truly like earn a win, it feels really good. But for me personally, and like the way my brain is wired, I take it so personally as well if I end up choking at the end of a game, which is what would happen constantly in like the later years of college, where I'd be doing pretty well, not trash talking at all, be getting, you know, chirped left and right from my roommates, and it would be going back and forth, and I would have like a solid like a 7-point lead, 11-point lead, 13-point lead, not saying a damn thing, just trying to like not screw up. And then I would take a bad shot, miss, you know, give up an offensive rebound, miss a free throw, this, that, and the other, and I would end up losing. And I would just be so mad at myself for the rest of the day that I literally wouldn't be able to talk. And that was like the end of it for me. And I just like to eliminate that type of feeling as much as possible after a long day. Especially some of these games can last as long as like an hour. So that's why I do what I do. Unfortunately, I'm still... you know, even with NFL Street, I tried doing this as well. I put it on the easiest difficulty, and I was still throwing picks left and right. I was still fumbling in the end zone, all these crazy things. So I don't know if like the game is just not like, you know, they don't balance them like they used to in like the bad way, like where they used to be harder, or if I was just, you know, my careless level of play is just not meant for the EA big games. But I was able to do it. Yeah, I guess the last point is that I had so much more fun with NBA Street Volume 2 and seeing all the content there by dialing down the difficulty a little bit and being able to like jack up a 3 if I needed to. It was like Super Mario Strikers, like I could always do the captain's, you know, 2-point or 3-point in the later games perfect shot, but I would try to not rely on that if I needed to, or if I didn't need to. I would get a lot of one-timers, I get a lot of like, you know, well-placed goals and good defense. But if push comes to shove, I'm gonna lose the game and lose my perfect record and my whole narrative that I'm building, like against, you know, Luigi against Waluigi in the finals, and I end up losing the game and like ruining like the fun I was having. Then I like to be able to do like a quick, like just do a quick little whatever, a quick little out route from Troy Brown, or a quick little you know, captain's special shot on strikers to get that extra goal in there to really secure the lead. But what are you gonna do? So that's my take on that. If you like sports games, you know, I'm shocked you got to this channel, just because it's not common to talk about sports games unless you're really locked into like getting the most VC in 2K, or like getting the perfect meta building and stuff like that. It's just never has been, and most likely it will not be my my cup of tea anytime soon. But in terms of just screwing around with like the game and stuff like that, I've been having fun. So yeah, my little Invernic RG Cube handheld device, playing these GameCube games like on a flight recently, and after a long day, it's been fun. So let me know if you do the same, if you still play like the old wrestling games or the sports games, if they don't make them like they used to. Let me know either way, and drop a like, it really makes my day. Drop a comment on what you've been playing, if it's sports, if you hate sports, if you want to call it sports ball. Honestly, this is a safe space, you can say whatever you want. If you are a Raptors fan, I am a Celtics fan, but I am Raptors fan by proxy in this household. And yeah, I want to wear my my cheap knockoff jersey that it fits like pretty solid. It's the, you know, the vintage Vince Carter jersey, and it was only $20 on a shop. So shout out to that. But another jersey in the rotation, so I'm not wearing the same 5 things. And yeah, that's all I got. Enough rambling. Thank you so much for checking this out. I'll catch you in the next one later.